No cap. These are the words from Devin Haney in response to his willingness and wanting to fight Ryan Garcia, as spoken through his promoter, Eddie Hearn. We're going to talk about that in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy, Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Now, before I get started, make sure you guys kick your butt into gear and click the link in the description to get TUBEBUDDY. TubeBuddy is an awesome browser extension. The link is in the description, and it can help you like it's helped me. TubeBuddy will help you level up your content. I've used it for years. I can vouch for it. I still use it to this day, Deontay Wilder voice, to this day for producing videos like this. They have a lot of tools and resources that are baked into TubeBuddy that can't readily be found on the YouTube platform when you're uploading. So if you want to get serious about your channel and you want to make it on YouTube, it takes money to make money. So consider TubeBuddy. Now, a boxing reporter quoted Eddie Hearn. He did an interview with Sirius XM Radio and DAZN, and Eddie Hearn says, quote, "Ryan Garcia refused to fight Devin Haney, so we are fighting with Jorge Linares, and they made Garcia versus Fortuna. No problem. As long as we get the fight we want in the end, if they are good enough to come through, let's just get that made for September, October." In response to this, Devin Haney says, "No cap." So we know that Devin Haney is on board, as well as his promoter, Eddie Hearn. They're on board to fight with Ryan Garcia. Now, Ego Stradamus strikes again. I told you, for anybody that listens to my channel, you will see the prophecies come true through Ego Stradamus. Ryan Garcia fought Luke Campbell. The winner of that fight became mandatory for WBC champion Devin Haney. I was of the opinion that despite Ryan Garcia prevailing, he was dropped in the second round, the fun fight. He came back and stopped Luke Campbell. Despite his victory, I told you he would not be fighting Devin Haney next. Ryan Garcia went on this tirade and said he's fighting Gervonta. He's going to stretch him in 2 rounds. Then 2 weeks later, he came back and said he's going to fight. I believe I might fight with Ryan. The legend himself, Manny Pacquiao from General Santos, right? And neither of which happened. Now, after Ryan Garcia told the whole world that if it ain't his fight with Gervonta or Manny Pacquiao, he's not interested, we now find out that he's supposed to have an announcement today, according to his social media post. He's supposed to have an announcement, and that announcement is rumored to be Javier Fortuna, not Pacquiao, not Gervonta Davis. Coincidentally and ironically, there was someone in attendance for Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell, a very interested spectator of that fight. That was Devin Haney and his father, former trainer, because I think he denounced training Devin Haney recently, Bill Haney. So Devin and Bill went to the Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell to get a first up close and personal first-hand look at, Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell fight in Texas. And Ryan prevailed. He pulled through the fight, got the body shot stoppage, wicked body shot. Shout out to Ryan Garcia for that. And Devin Haney even had a dialogue with Ryan Garcia. The two know each other very well from the amateurs and are now successful, undefeated pros. Ryan kind of went off cue and off script. You had the DAZN reporter after the Luke Campbell fight, and he was like pressing for, I think, the Gervonta fight. And then Ryan Garcia said, "Oh, I just talked to Devin, blah, blah, blah. If Devin wanted, he could get it too. I'm the mandatory. Let's go. And he did all this and said all this stuff. But fast forward to the future, now we knew that wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? Ego Stradamus predicted that, and it showed true. So I will say this. With all that being said, Devin Haney's in a good fight with Linares, and Ryan Garcia is in a good fight with Javier Fortuna, if that is finalized and officially announced. So I'm not mad at those fights. I'm just mad at the clout chasing. Like, for me, I come from a generation where this wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always tell y'all, I'm hip hop, y'all TikTok. this new generation, they got to understand and learn the rules of the game. You know, people could do whatever they want, but as a man, certain traits are or are not, you know, admirable. And I'm just not big on the clout chasing, like, you know, broadcasting and announcing plans before the plans are made and before they hatch and, you know, before they're cultivated, things like that. So I would have preferred if Ryan just said, like, what the standard response you get from a lot of fighters, like, we just gonna go to the drawing board, I'm gonna get with my team and I'm gonna talk to my promoter, we're gonna see what's next, but I'm down to fight anyone. You know, just keep it generic. But when the fighters, you're seeing more and more an influx of fighters who are doing interviews or IGTV or Instagram lives and Snapchats, whatever, and going on all these platforms, and they're almost acting like bosses, and they don't really have that much control over their career to make the final decisions by themselves. So they could say, I want to fight X, Y, and Z. They could do that all day, but at the end of the day, is that fight going to get made? You have handlers, you have vested interest of promoters and networks and people who may make you pump your brakes. And I think that's what we're seeing. As far as Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, it's a good fight, colossal fight. You know, it'd be like almost like an Oscar De La Hoya versus Fernando Vargas, minus, I don't think they have that much bad blood towards each other, but just people around the same age group in that generation fighting when it needs to happen. And, you know, while it's lit, you know, I think that would be a good look for boxing. In my honest opinion, I think Team Haney and Eddie Hearn has shown more of a propensity to make that fight. In fact, I also believe that Devin Haney has, you know, he's called himself the boogeyman, and it's hard to dispute that claim because look at how people react to fighting him. I think he even has merchandise where there's a quote from Devin Haney, and I might slaughter this, but I'll give you something pretty close to what it says. He even put it on the shirt though. But he says, they say everything but let's fight next. And I agree with that. You know, people say this, that, and oh, I'm gonna send him a contract and this. Remember Teofimo, he said, I got 2 contracts. We sending, on one hand, we're gonna send George Kambosos a contract, and then we're sending Devin Haney a contract, and whoever gets back to it. And then he's fighting George Kambosos on Triller and beefing with Top Rank. So it's like, this is what Ego Stradamus predicted, the great, the spectacular. So it is what it is. But hopefully Eddie Hearn and Devin Haney, they're pushing for the fight later this year. You know, I think it's a great fight. And might as well strike while the iron's hot. We got to get boxing back to its rightful spot, to the point where it's respected. The reason people can watch the NBA or NFL and MLB and stuff respect, because you know they have to go through the gauntlet of other teams in order to really emerge and make it in the end. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna, you might have, like, if you are the Lakers, you might have to play some of the teams that, like the Denver Nuggets or somebody who may not be the hottest that particular year, but we also know you have to go through the Golden State Warriors or the Celtics or whoever is booming that particular year. You know, but in boxing, you can see all these games and, you know, people, they could go several years without facing who people consider to be the best in their respective divisions. And I think kind of that's what Canelo's doing right now. Like, I don't know anybody that thinks that average Pilgrim, Avni Yildirim is number 1, 168 or 2 or 3. You know, I don't know anyone who thinks that at 168, Billy Joe Saunders is the number 1 guy. You dig what I'm saying? So hopefully we could see this fight come into fruition. I think it's a great fight. Interesting stylistic. Some people question Devin Haney's man strength and his power, but we do know he has the boxing acumen and ring generalship. Ryan Garcia is a speedster. He likes his speed. He definitely has power. They both are a step up fight. So if they win, you know, hopefully we get something like that. Let me know what you think. Also use my link for TUBEBUDDY, ESPN Plus. Those are great ways to help the channel. We're just going to keep cooking 2021. Let me know how I did in this video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TUBEBUDDY. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.